Hey everybody, finally saw the Avengers last night. Went originally to see the 6 o'clock showing, but it was all sold out, so I had to go see it at 9 o'clock at night. By the time I got home, pretty late. I had to get up at 5 this morning, so finally got around to making a video right now. So let me tell you what I thought about Avengers. I'm not going to even tell you the story because you know all about it already, and I got my friend here with me. But like I said, you know everything about the Avengers. You probably already watched the million reviews of this movie. So let me tell you what I thought, if you care. All right, well, first of all, I'm going to say I thought it was pretty good. I didn't really like any of the other Marvel movies that much. I mean, they're all entertaining. They're all interesting. They're all decent comic book movies. But none of the characters really in the Avengers are any of my favorite comic book characters. So I was kind of skeptical of this movie. The only one I hadn't really seen was Captain America. I watched it on Thanksgiving, but it was in a room full of people, so I couldn't really hear the story too good. That was the only one I hadn't seen all the way through. I should have sat and watched it again before the movie. But so I saw the movie last night. Like I said, big crowds. Watched it. Very entertaining. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Well worth the, money I paid. So everything looked good. I love the action. The CGI was awesome. One of the best parts was the dialogue between Captain America, Iron Man, the little conflict they had, the talking, stuff like that. I really liked the clash of those two personalities. That was one of my favorite parts of the movie. And then you have Hawkeye. And I didn't expect much from him in this movie, but he turned out to be a real treat. Jeremy Renner did an awesome job. I mean, he was like the super spy. He was like, to make an archer stand out with the rest of these powerful characters, I thought it was pretty good. And I can't wait to see this new Bourne movie. It got me jazzed for the new Bourne movie, watching Jeremy Renner kind of give us a little treat of what he's like as a super spy. There's one thing in particular that really stuck out in this movie, and a lot of people in the reviews have been saying it, and I totally agree 100%. All the people that hated on Mark Ruffalo when he got chose to play the Hulk, I hope they're eating their words right now, because he played the best Banner of the three guys that played Banner so far. I liked the way he played Banner. He was just slightly nervous, slightly shy, but at the same time kind of arrogant, knowing that, hey, when I turn into the Hulk, I don't care what you guys got, you ain't going to be able to stop me. And he does make some revelations throughout the movie. And, the Hulk is a strange character because he's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I love some of the reveals he had about his character. I don't want to ruin him for you if you haven't seen the movie. Most of you have. But I like what he said about the bullet and stuff like that, if you guys remember. That was like my favorite line. So Mark Ruffalo, good job. I can't wait to see you in a real Hulk movie. Hulk is my favorite character of all the Avengers, so, and like the last couple of movies have been kind of lackluster. I like the Ang Lee version myself. I mean, I like both versions, but I liked Eric Bana better as Bruce Banner. And I liked the Hulk CGI and the Norton one better, so whatever. Okay, so enough. Everything you've heard about this movie, hype, hype, hype. There's got to be some bad things, right? Most people aren't going to even say there's anything bad with this movie, but there is some bad stuff. This movie was not perfect. In fact, it was far from perfect. One of the things I really didn't like about this movie was the inclusion of Black Widow. I mean, Scarlett Johansson's great. She adds a little sex appeal to the movie. Her character's cool, but they should have just... I don't understand where they went with this sort of backstory. I know they're probably going to try to set up a, individual movie for her. But all this crap about, I got red ink in the ledger, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about her backstory as much as the rest of the characters. Obviously, she's a spy. I'm assuming she did bad stuff. I don't need to know why she wants to jump on the Avengers side. You could just assume she's, citizens of Earth, so, she wants to help these people save Earth. That's all that was required. I didn't like all this dialogue about the, red ink in the ledger. That was just kind of lame, I thought. And another thing, I like my comic book movies a little bit more to the Batman, like, realistic side. I know Batman's not realistic, but you know what I mean. The color palette's kind of muted, and the costumes aren't so comic booky. That's the best way I can put it. So the costumes in this movie kind of bugged me. As soon as I saw the trailer, I didn't like Captain America's costume. And I like in the movie they kind of explain why it's so vibrant and why it's so, like, classic of a looking costume. They explain that in the movie, which I like that scene. But at the same time, the color is just too bright. I mean, they need to have more like a navy blue type costume, at least in my opinion. You know, they got to bring the color palette down. Another thing is Loki's costume with the big horns. I know that's how he looks in the comic book, all that. But for the movie, they should have just had him in like a dark green, you know, Hugo Boss suit with like the yellow scarf, kind of like the one scene they did have with a cane. His outfit was too much, man. Some of that stuff just kind of reminds me of the colors they use and the way the costumes are. And they look, the film is so high definition, it looks really cheesy, the costume. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Power Rangers. And I know you're going to hate me saying that, but it just reminds me of Power Rangers a little bit, so you can click the dislike button if you don't like that. But it just does. The bright colors and the kind of cheesy costumes. And the one scene where Loki was talking to the alien baddie on the asteroid, that just, I just kept thinking Power Rangers, Power Rangers, Power Rangers. I know, I'm bad, I know. You know, there had to be something wrong with the movie. It can't be perfect. And another couple things. First of all, these Marvel movies, one of the reasons I don't like them, even that the character, you know, I like the way the movies look, they're entertaining, but they make them for such a wide variety of people, which is good because I know Hollywood, they need to make money, and they usually provide a good story, but the problem is, they make them they put too much comedy, they put too much, you know, they just try to appeal to so many people. They don't have that edge like the Batman movies do, you know, the Chris Nolan Batman movies. They're missing like a certain edge. I'd like to see more of an edgy Marvel movie. And that takes me to the one scene that I laughed my ass off on, but it just didn't belong in this movie. And you're going to know what I'm talking about. It's the Galaga scene. I was like, it was funny as hell. I laughed, but did it really need to be in the movie? I don't know if, you know, Robert Downey Jr. just, you know, improvised that on the scene and then they, you know, they constructed like the shot after or whatever, but I don't know. That scene was just unnecessary, I thought, in this movie. There was enough funny stuff. They didn't need to add that scene. I mean, the fate of the world's at hand, and, you know, S.H.I.E.L.D. is supposed to be, like, top-level soldiers. That was just kind of lame. And the aliens in general, they were just, you know, an easy plot device. They were fodder for the Avengers just to waste. And the aliens lacked they weren't interesting at all. They were just boring as hell. They look kind of cool, but I mean, they were just there for the Hulk to smash on, which they did a good job with that. I mean, my favorite scene in the movie was the Hulk-Loki scene. That's probably a lot of people's favorite scene in the movie, but when Hulk, you know, meets with Loki at Stark Towers, that was the biggest laugh I had, the coolest thing the Hulk did the whole movie. All right, so I'm done bitching about the movies. You guys are probably pissed off that I said some of it kind of reminded me of Power Rangers, but I'm still going to give the movie a 4 out of 5 stars because Joss Whedon, sorry. He, you know, 4 heroes, 5 heroes, 6 heroes in one movie. That's just, I mean, one hero's hard enough to do. This guy combined them all, and they're big names, and he combined it all. He made one of the better summer movies I've seen in a long time. Probably the best summer movie since The Dark Knight. And, you know, we got the 3rd Batman movie coming out, and I think Avengers set the watermark pretty high. Still not as high as the Dark Knight movie with Joker, but it's a, you know, a close second. And the Spider-Man movie and the new Batman movie they got a lot to live up to with this Avengers movie, you know, out in theaters. So I like the idea of the comic book movies keeping, you know, they keep achieving higher levels. And eventually, you know, we're going to see some really good stuff. We've already seen good stuff. It's been progressively getting better over the years. You know, Avengers sets another high water mark, so all the credit to Joss Whedon. You know, if they do a sequel, I bet the sequel's probably going to be better because, you know, he'll have worked out more thoughts in his head of how to, you know, film different things and stuff like that. And it'll probably be a little bit more original since we know all the characters already. And maybe they'll get to include a couple of new people. And another thing before I go, like I said, 4 out of 5 stars. One more thought I just wanted to say was, this spells bad news if they ever make a Justice League movie, because if whoever's behind the Justice League movie, whoever's writing it, whoever's directing it, whatever characters are in it, no matter what they do, they're going to have to get compared a million times to the Avengers movies. And that's one advantage the Avengers movie had with coming out first. It didn't have to be as good. The problem is, if they come out with a Justice League movie, they're going to have to take it, you know, to the same level or higher. And That's a problem. For whoever's making that movie, that's going to be a serious problem. All right, guys. Comment below. Hopefully you liked the video. You don't click dislike. Comment. Tell me what you think about a Justice League movie, or what was your favorite part about the Avengers. Thanks for watching.